Thank you for the follow, Bishop Bloom.
Hey, that's my my fellow air plant friend in Georgia.
Wow, small world. Welcome, Bishop Bloom. Thanks for showing up. We're going to be playing a little game. Got some notes here. This is the green room, so it's not actually the show.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Refreshing.
Oh, I just got 10 channel points on my thing for having the chat open.
Whoa.
It goes boink, and it shows me.
Yeah, so we've got... I should have... So there, if you look at the channel stuff, there's that little purple parrot. I should have called that RJ's Delight. Because he's the one who suggested that...
Purple parrot?
Yeah, so... Like in the stream perks or whatever. I mean...
Oh.
Yeah, he's like... Well, I'll talk about it during the show.
Okay.
Because we're in the green room still and nobody's here. Ah, my controller!
Oh, there's a pineapple on pizza.
The hell is that?
It's a pineapple on a pizza.
I understand, but is it just a regular emoji or what?
Frequently used, it's telling me, and it was the first one.
Huh?
And other ones are random creepy faces.
I'm so glad. First time viewer, Bishop Bloom.
Yeah.
Bishops.
Bishop's Bloom.
Any relation to the android from the Alien franchise? I will await your comment in the typing square. Are you Lance Hendrickson? Henriksen? 10 minutes till show starts. I hope other people show up.
I'm sure people will show up.
When I was making my notes for the movie I watched, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages of notes.
Oh my god.
And I thought I had nailed it because I grabbed all this paper and I was like, oh man, this is probably too much. And I'm like, do. And I was filling them all up. I'm like, oh my God, it's the perfect amount. But I had to put one back because I actually grabbed 9. One of the strong name. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Bishops are a very powerful piece in chess. The aforementioned aliens, reference. We've got it all. All right, it's been close to 5 minutes, so let's go.
Yeah.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave, and this is another episode of Game On here on Twitch. Also, we're from FFOPradio.com and a bunch of other places and stuff.
Yada yada.
Yada. Turn the lo-fi back up.
Boop.
Probably just hit a low point. Anyway, so here we are. We're going to be playing a little bit of Viscera Cleanup. And I'm putting the two things together because I was like, you know what? Let's play a game. Let's have a little relaxation. Nothing that'll be too plot heavy, so I don't want to spoil anything for people because I feel like a lot of the narratively focused games I play are like, but then why would I buy it? And I don't want to do that to people. So we'll be playing Viscera Cleanup. There's no story to give away. It's just a day in the life of an average janitor. I'm going to talk about a movie I saw today. I've seen it roughly 1.5 times now because I wanted to stop. And I was like, should I make somebody watch it with me? And as I was watching it the second time, I was like, good, no.
I'm glad you didn't make me watch it with you.
If you may want to watch it afterwards because I've got some hot takes on it. But boy, oh boy, it could use some editing, I'll say. Let's see. So, now since this game is acting stupid, it might take a minute once I flip everything. But since the night is still young, we'll give it another couple of minutes.
Yeah, I do not. It's been... I had to reinstall this game, and I haven't played it since 2017 was the last time we played this game.
No, you played it in
Me.
2017. I played it in 2018.
Oh, fancy.
So, no big deal and everything. But it's like, water off a duck's back. I completely remember it all. No, I don't. But I don't. So, like, what the 30 seconds or 45 seconds or whatever I put into the game to refamiliarize myself seems pretty easy. It's grab, it's drop, it's mop.
And there's like a radar thingy that I don't remember.
Yeah, so the radar thing just helps you find messes because our goal is to clean up the place, not leave like a dude's
Blood.
ear behind a
Right.
soda machine and he'll be like, oh, whoa.
Well, you'll have to do that because I can't hear my radar. So
We'll see how much I can hear of mine because I turned the volume down so we could hear this great relaxing
it
lo-fi.
might blink. There is a glitchy ass rolling chair like right in front of us when the thing starts. It
Well,
just
I'll
keeps
worry about that
moving.
when we start because I can't even see the...
Oh,
I can't see it because once I click out of it, it
I see.
does not like to work. So, oh, look at that. There's RJ. Well,
Hey,
RJ
RJ.
Snacks. So, RJ, you missed it. But I was telling everybody about the idea you had that you gave to me lawfully, much like the murder camera, to start to whatever for that little thing. And I was going to call it RJ's Delight. But again, didn't do it. And here's the thing, too. So everybody knows you can tell little Dervbot here things to do. And I was going to give it a bathroom cougar type
Dance.
dance or something. But I couldn't, nothing he would do, see, he does the hello, nothing he would do would match up with a bathroom cougar. Like, he doesn't take a crap, he doesn't jump out of a bathroom stall, so I don't know what to do about the bathroom cougar. So basically it's just down to my favorite songs, and I don't know if he says, because the nice won't work, but it doesn't. Whoa, my controller again.
David's got butterfingers.
Well, it's a butter thigh because I wasn't holding it.
Oh.
It's a butterball thigh. Anyway, so let me get the game over here. Here we are. So I forget the name of this one. I think it's the only one that I think is not related to monsters. I think it's just a guy or prisoners or something.
Looks like I don't
Like,
know.
it's not aliens and it's not monsters. We're just cleaning up after, I think,
A war.
not a war. It's like a prison riot. We've been playing a lot of Prison
okay.
Architect, so I think this is a prison riot gone, horribly, horribly wrong. And we've got graffiti and stuff. There's Krista. She's the lady janitor.
Kayla says, "Whoa, there's an ad before I can get to the live stream. Y'all are legit."
Welcome to the world of advertising, and I apologize in advance.
Yeah, I had to watch 2.
Yeah, so whoopsie. So, Krista, just so you know, you can use your right and left bumpers to change from your mop to your hands to your sniffer to your personal log or your tablet. So, now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to be talking about a movie that I took notes on. So let's start cleaning this biatch up.
We need to get water.
Yeah, we got to find out where the our supplies and shit are.
Where did you go?
Into the mess place.
Ugh. Oh, right. I forgot that radio's there.
So we got to find the bucket. We got to find the incinerator. Here's a Worst Fest.
I see graffiti that says, "The cake is a lie. I'm going to have questions." LOL.
If
Hashtag
somebody,
portal.
yeah, if someone says the cake is a lie, then we've been completely ripped off. Look at all these guys.
Ugh.
People just like us. You and me. Dead. Anywho, yeah, so here's the What-a-Load disposable bins. We got the bucket machine over here. I don't know where the incinerator is, but I guess for right now, I don't care.
It doesn't. What a load. Disposal bins. Oh.
Yeah, so let me get this bucket. Let's start cleaning from around the clean machines, because I feel like that would be the obvious way to go.
Okay.
Because you're already tracking blood all over my goddamn floor.
How do I put this down?
RJ says your mop looks like a hand, and it freaks me out. Yeah, this is... I don't know this reference from firsthand, but in apparently Everything Everywhere and All at Once, the movie, they go to a part of reality where everybody has hot dog fingers. Anywho.
Oh man, we gotta
God.
even put the chairs in the garbage.
Yeah, we have to clean up literally everything. This is viscera cleanup. Like, imagine going into a crime scene, being a crime scene cleanup person. You're like, oh, the blood too. Yeah, everything.
Well, oops.
Well, let's work on the blood first. You're spreading blood literally everywhere. God.
Oh my God, the guy just moved.
Yeah, he's fine. Don't worry about him. Just clean up the blood before you keep leaving it everywhere. So, oh my God, you are the...
I'm cleaning up the blood.
By walking through it?
I didn't walk through it.
Viewer, you saw the footprints. Anyway, so the movie I watched today, or mostly today, is called The Video Dead. It is from 1987, and woof, I'll tell you that. It feels like it's a zombie ripoff before, like, those were popular. So, 1987, so the music is weird, the everything about it is just insane. Let me put this down. Do I have to... Oh, son of a bitch.
Look at what you did.
Yeah, try not to walk in it. How do you work this damn machine?
Oh, fuck.
So a new one comes out. So we must have to put the buckets in this when we're done.
Don't worry, I'll clean up your mess.
Yeah, I'll try and figure out how to turn things.
Son of a bitch.
Oh my God. How do I turn something? So it's not that. You just spilled all the water?
Yep.
This is going great.
Well, I didn't know how to put it down, so I hit B and it threw it.
Oh my God. I just need this to be right side. God!
This is going so great. How do you put things down gently? Oh, of course. And it would spit out a piece of...
I don't think... Viscera?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it'll pop a body out. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, I watched The Video Dead, and it was... Oh, man. Boy, oh boy. It was a disaster. Because... We've got to find the incinerator. This is already 10 tons of fucked in a 5-ton bag.
Oh, that guy moved too.
So, here's what happens. So our movie, it starts with like this... It's called Highlight Delivery Service. And what happens is these dudes are delivering a package, and the acting is bad, and it's more or less kind of funny. Oh, crap. There we go. There's the new bucket. So these dudes show up, and they are carrying a just lame ass average lame. It's so lame. Like, the dialogue in this movie is so terrible. So like, there's a guy, he's asleep on his bed, and he's like, ugh. So the delivery men are knocking on the door, and he's like, go away. And this part of the movie is bizarre. And I know it's like in the first 3 seconds. But the dude is like, so he rolls over and looks at his side table, and there are 2 dead goldfish in this bowl. But the crazy thing about, like, the dead goldfish, I get. Like, okay, he's a dysfunctional pet owner. The craziest part is, like, the water in the bowl is swirling, like someone was just swirling it around. And, like, that's not right. But whatever. So the dudes show up, and this horrible old, not old, he's kind of old. This horrible man comes to the door, and he's like, what's going on? And they're like, hey, we're from Highlight Delivery. And he's like, do you guys have like a cigarette? And they're like, no, we don't smoke. Or the first guy says we don't smoke. Second guy says something hilarious. He's like, what about you, buddy? The second guy goes, nope, I'm a chewer, and like just turns and spits onto his porch,
Oh.
which I thought was kind of funny. Anyway, so they want to deliver this this package, and the dude's like, I haven't ordered anything but pizza in 6 months. And they're like, oh, whoa, it's not COD, which is like, what? Like, that's something that's dead. So he's like, okay, whatever. So he brings it inside, and he's like got this hammer, and he's knocking it all apart. And it turns out it's a television, because of why wouldn't it be? It's the video dead. So he's like, I don't even watch television. And like, I'm like, what? Because yeah, it's the 80s, and you could do stuff like that, like not watch television. So turns out he's a writer. So he's in his kitchen, and his kitchen is decorated within an inch of its life.
Of course.
But like all of 80s nonsense. It's like a 1986 like Cubs pennant and shit. And it's just like Crystal Pepsi is in the background, and there's like the 7-Up that looks like it was, you know, that tobacco sunburst like look. Really beautiful. And the like noise starts, and he's like, so he goes over, and the TV is on. And the movie that comes on is something called Zombie Blood Nightmare. So dude comes in, he's like, well, the TV, whatever. And it's one of those old TVs that you have to turn an analog knob that clicks, which will be important in just a second. So he looks at it, he's like, well, whatever. There's some zombies on there. There's a dude like in a suit. There's like a wedding day zombie, and there's whatever. Classic zombie affair and attire. Oh my God, why can't you walk around me?
Because you were walking in front of
How
me.
dare you? And so he's like, back to work. And so he clicks off the TV, and there's an audible click, because keep in mind, it's an analog TV that you would have to turn all the way down, and then he would go click to shut off the power supply. He's not even out of the room when the movie comes back on. No click, though. The click does not turn on. And I go, okay. So he comes back, and he's like, that was weird. And he goes, click again. So he double clicks the TV off, even though it was not clicked on. And he does it for a third time. So he's just like, whatever. He goes back to his writing, and it's somewhat interesting in how they shot it. Like, it's very low budget, but I will give them credit for this, because the TV gets like cartoony electricity and stuff around it, and smoke comes out of it, and our zombies start popping out. So we see, 2, 3, 4 sets of legs walking across the carpet, and we are just left to assume that our dude is eaten by zombies.
RJ says, it's like the new Coke. It'll be around forever.
It's like new Coke.
Kayla says, never trust a non-clicking TV.
Well, and the thing... Oh, we've got some USB drives here that we should probably keep someplace safe. We've still got to find the incinerator, so keep that in mind as you're walking around.
Okay.
So, yada, yada, yada. It's the next day, and our dudes from Highlight Delivery are back. So they pull into the same parking space outside the house, and they have this, like the working man sort of laborious problem where the guy in the driver's seat's like, man, I knew if they didn't get their act together, corporate would end up messing up deliveries. And so they're walking to reclaim this TV. Oh, also the TV had a mirror pressed up against the screen, with the mirror side toward the TV screen, obviously. So the guys show up, and they go, oh man, we got to pick up this TV, and this is pretty fucked. So he says, what the hell was delivered? Because the TV obviously went to this schlubby dude. He's like, what the hell was delivered to the Institute for the Study of the Occult, which presumably would not have a residential address. And also, P.S., you'd probably put the address on the box, but the box had 0 information on it. It was just a wooden crate that you'd send like in 1920s if you somehow found a mummy in Egypt. And I'm like, okay. So they knock on the door like, Mr. What's his nuts? And he's like, we're a his buddy. He says, we're a delivery service, not a wake-up service. And I was like, crisp writing. So they knock on the door and it's like, obviously something's up. It's like, dink, dink, dink. And the door sort of swings open. They go, Mr. Such and Such, dude. And he goes, So they open the door and the man is obviously dead. And with a zombie attack, you'd think, well, he was probably eaten, right? Or perhaps, at least partially, he should be ripped apart. Zombies are pretty brutal people, you know. But when they open the door, he is standing in the middle of the living room. He's got white paint on his face, which I assume is supposed to look like he's been dead for a while.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I found the incinerator. It's down here in the basement.
Oh, there's a basement?
Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, they open the door, white face paint. He's got a lamp cord wrapped around his neck, and the lamp is hanging on the front of his body like a Flavor Flav giant clock. And on top of all that, he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and then the coup de grace. He has a party hat, like a conical party hat with like streamers and shit all over it. And they go, oh my God. Bam. That's the end of the intro. So we cut to the Chiron that says 3 months later.
3 months later.
And so we cut to a girl who is in a taxi. And she's obviously one of our protagonists because she's asleep in a taxi wearing those classic, like everybody had these in the 80s and early 90s. But the type of headphones that were just like those two black puff balls with the really shiny aluminum, like the super like cheap ones you could probably still find at the dollar store to this day.
I had one.
Yeah, everybody had them. And so we're looking at her and we're looking at the cab fare for some reason. A lot of time is wasted with unnecessary shots in this movie, which is ridiculous. But
hey, where are you putting these little USB thingies?
there's a pile of them by the 2 dead bodies upstairs. If that makes sense.
Oh, there's more than...
Let's see. Junior executive janitor. Everything is ready. Tomorrow is the day. We're going to storm the office and force and stage a sit-in protest. We'll barricade the doors. Once everyone is out and ensure our message to the management is seen, we will be silent no longer. It is time they gave us our rights. I'm sick and tired of being treated like an animal. This is from 2184. Put that in there.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So, one of the craziest moments of this early intro when we're introducing our characters, like I said, she's asleep in the back seat, but her hand is sitting open on her lap, and there is a key in it with like those, it's basically birthday ribbon. Red birthday ribbon is strung through the key. And so they get there and the guy, the cop, the taxi driver, he's like, hey, we're here, miss, and it's going to be 2360. And she's like, we're here already? And he's like, yeah. And then she repeats the address to him, and he's like, yeah, that's what I fucking said. And she's like, oh, well, I've never been here before. And he's like, what? So she says, well, it's my parents bought it. But they've never been here either. And I'm like, what? Why is that happening? So, whatever. She goes inside, and like there's 30 or 40 seconds wasted on her walking from the cab to the door, letting the moving men in. Then she's like looking out a window, and there's like trees outside. And the moving men show up, and he's like, okay, just sign here on line 11. And so much screen time is being wasted. But that's the way it is. So now keep in mind, it's been 3 months since the zombies have escaped the TV. I want everybody to really come to grips with that, because zombies are typically like pretty destructive people. But in this instance, they've just been basically hanging around in the forest outside of the outside of the house. So, there's another USB. Here we go.
I have gotten so many of them. Let's see. RJ says, let me tell you about this movie while I hold the severed leg.
You
Bishop
like that head?
Bishop's Bloom says, I can't play games this calm.
Like as in the oh god damn.
Kayla says, does the wall say no droids? Is this Moss Eisley?
Mos Eisley.
Eisley.
Moss Eisley. Yeah, it is. No, it's not Mos Eisley. This is not the cantina. I am so lost.
Go through there and to your right.
Okay, I've got another USB.
I know, I've got a few, and I want to move
Oh,
this.
wait. I think we have to plug them into the thing at the... there's something downstairs. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so we're all... Not we are all, but in the movie, she's like, putting all of her stuff away, and it's all like, yeah, putting glasses, and there's like Uncle Ben's rice in one of the buckets, but the boxes. And so we are treated to a pair of zombie legs, and the legs are moving slowly, shuffling, like one of the legs is dragging. And, we've already seen that because when the zombies came out of the TV, they were all dragging their legs in the exact same way because directing actors is hard. So if you can bring me a couple of buckets of water down to the basement, I'd really appreciate it.
I don't even know how to get to the basement.
Dear God.
RJ says, buckets knocked over, Dervis 2, Krista 0. Actually, I've knocked 2 over.
So it's
also,
tie.
Kayla says, Dervis is building his bucket list.
I mean, you've got to. Okay, so let's get a bucket. Goddamn viscera. Ugh.
Got it.
Okay, so follow me.
Coming.
Oh God. Why is this
I had
here?
to put it there because it was in the way in there.
Yeah, well, we don't need to go in there yet.
I already went in there. And I got USBs and cleaned the blood.
Oh, shit.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, well, I had to spill all my water because someone left a hazard in the middle of
Dervis 3, Krista 2.
I think it should only count. God damn it! I think it should only count if they're used and have blood in them. Anyway, here we go. So, like I said, the zombie legs, they're coming, and it's like, for whatever reason, the 80s was like the worst time to be an actor because the zombie legs come all the way inside, right? And the sister turns around, she drops a glass. Oh my fucking God. I cannot stand. You need to bring the buckets down here. I can't bring the buckets.
Oh, let me clean this blood off here first.
No, don't worry about it. We need to start from here because we're going to have to bring buckets.
I didn't want to track blood all through here.
Yeah, well, it's going to not matter because there's a bunch of robot fluid and blood and shit down here. This place is a fucking disaster. Anyway, it's her brother. Moral of the story is she drops the glass. She's like, 30 seconds pass. Cuts to her brother and he's like, hey, sis. And she's like, oh, bro, you're here. And so the next thing you know, they're sitting at the... Did you drop the bucket? Is that empty now?
Yeah. Be back.
Yeah. I'll burn this bucket. So they're eating like a plate of dog vomit. It looks like, and you'd have to be from the 80s to know what I'm talking about, but it looked like Beanie Weenies, but something was off about them. Like there was obviously beans at one point, there was obviously weens at some point, but now it's just like they're eating 2 plates of pig slop. So we get a little bit about our characters. The parents have lived and worked in Saudi Arabia for, I guess, ever. Whoa, Jesus! Those things blow up. Good to know. So, the parents are in Saudi Arabia on business. Let's let that blow up with the door closed. And they're complaining about it. They're like, oh man, mom and dad and everything. And he's like, ah man, now they're back now that we're grown up and we don't need them anymore. But so, and our sister character, whose name is Zoe, she is gotten into college. And so the brother, whose name is Jeff, he goes, well, what are you going for? And she goes, I'm majoring in aerobics. And he spits his dog slop back onto the plate. And he goes, aerobics, which I almost did myself. But then I realized it was the 80s. You could probably get a degree in aerobics.
Probably.
So he's like, that's stupid. You're stupid. And this is all stupid. And he's like, oh, I can't. Like, that's the dumbest thing ever. And we don't know anything about the Jeff because I don't know the ages. Everybody in here looks like they're 40 or 50. So we find out also that she is minoring in music videos. And again, it's the 80s. So she's they're both very stupid characters. So now remember, the TV was delivered 3 months ago. It was, opened up. The zombies have escaped, and it has been for 3 months that nothing has happened. So the doorbell rings, or they go to sleep after the whole dog barf dinner thing. They go to sleep, and the doorbell rings. Dude wakes up, and he goes to the door shirtless, because it was the 80s. Goes to the door shirtless, and there's a dude who looks like John Wayne Gacy. I don't remember his actual name. They said it probably 40 times, but he looks so much like John Wayne Gacy, I'm just going to call him that. So John Wayne Gacy shows up. He pulls up in I'm going to guess the year. It may be 1976-ish, maybe 72. In a mid to early 70s Chevrolet, rather. It deserves respect. A Chevrolet Love. One of the most beautiful trucks I've ever witnessed. So he pulls up and he knocks on the door. He's like, hey, my name is John Wayne Gacy. And did you guys get a delivery of a TV? And the brother, who's so stupid, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, I forgot to brush my teeth, so I've got to go. And slams the door on John's face. So John's like, you gonna pay, boy? And he basically does that whole warning, oh boy, here I'm the guy who comes and tells you what's up and everything's fucked. So now he knows, spoiler alert, he knows that there are zombies in the TV. So he goes, you're doomed, you're all doomed, and then he fucks off. But he's desperately been searching for the TV because he's come from Texas. He drove for 3 days to get wherever our story takes place. I'm not sure where it does. But, he's driven a long time and put in a lot of miles only to be shut down by a kid who needs to leave to brush his teeth.
Oh.
So the sister's like, what was I heard some noise. What was that all about? And the brother's an idiot because he's like, oh, there was a guy trying to sell us a TV or something. I don't know. Anyway, breakfast. And in less than a hair's breadth from that scene, the brother hears something. He hears a strange noise. So he goes up to the attic, and there's the fucking TV. 3 or 4 seconds after the dude's like, the TV is doomed. And he's like, okay, yeah, bye, click. Shuts the door. Tells the sister, he's like, oh, hey, I found a TV in the attic. He's like, do you think it's kind of like the one that the dude was talking about? And he goes, meh. So the sister goes, oh, well, at least we now have 3 TVs.
Oh, man. Okay. Krista's bucket count pales in comparison. Major in aerobics with a doctorate in jazzercise. Oh, man, what's that movie?
Killer Workout?
Yeah. Mauser size was my thing, says
Mauser size?
Yeah, those little birds.
They're not birds!
Kayla says, kids today with their pokey walkers don't know what we went through.
If you can find a kid today with a people who understand pokey walkers are my age, Kayla, so thank you.
And RJ says, this stream should have been called Because It's the 80s. It was the 80s.
Oh, yeah, it totally was. Because dude puts the brother, he puts the TV in his room, right? And of course, well, a couple of things happen. First of all, he turns on the TV and it's just static, which is what today? So it's static and he's clicking through all the UHF and VHF channels. And finally, he lands on something. And of course, it's our zombie movie that was seen earlier and will only be seen.
Uh-huh.
So he turns on the TV and he pulls out this huge bag of weed. And he rolls the most horrifically incompetent joint anyone has ever seen. It's like, if you've seen Trigun and you know Wolfwood's cigarettes, how they're all crumpled and they look like they've been like shit out by a tobacco monster. It's like that, except worse. So he starts smoking this joint and the TV goes back to static. He's like, oh man. Oh, P.S. Can you bring me down one of those, the yellow bins?
Yeah.
So he, smoking the thing and he's like, oh man. So he goes over to the TV and it's he bangs on it and changes it, and then it just switches to a woman whose name in the credits is The Woman. So
Nice.
the woman is like, oh hey Jeff, aren't you glad to see me, and etc. And he's like, whoa, what do they put in this stuff nowadays? Talking about the weed. And keep in mind, like, weed in the 80s was like smoking actual lawn grass today. And so he's like, whoa. So the lady comes out of the TV and goddamn, that is going to cost me. Bottles breaking, glasses everywhere.
Nice.
So the lady comes out of the TV. She's like, oh, hey. She immediately drops her dress to the ground.
Nice.
And, you know, props to her for doing at least a little bit of a nude scene. Because when she takes her dress off, her hair is obviously and visually taped to her boobs. Like half of it's going on either side and some down the back. And so she is, get that baby open. She's, oh, hey, let's make out and stuff. And she's running her hands up his legs and everything. And he's like, what are you doing here? Where did you come from? And essentially she just shows up to give him blue balls because they kiss for like, I don't know, 30, 35 seconds or whatever. And where do I put these stupid... They must go in one of these eventually. I'll just put it there. God damn. Oh, that's a lift. So anyway, she goes back in the TV. And he's like, hey, wait. What's going on? And she's like, ha ha ha, Jeff, you're such a boner. You'll probably be asking for my phone number next. And he goes, well, how do I contact you? And I'm like, that's exactly whatever. So she's like laughing hysterically. And this dude, so in situ, the woman is in the TV and she's in this room that has a door behind her. And so the background is all foggy, but a dude pops out of the background and just like grabs her head and runs a razor across her throat.
Oh.
And our dude Jeff is like, hey, there's someone there. And she's like, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, and then dead. So he goes, why did you do that? With as much emphasis as I'm putting on it now. Why did you do that? He goes, I'm the garbage man. I collect human garbage. She's not a human. They're like us. They look like us, but they got no souls. And they cut down to her body at his feet. And she is a straight up, like, masticated zombie. Like, juicy, gross, and wet.
Ugh.
And he's like, you know, essentially, that's it. See ya. And so it goes to static, and Jeff's like, wait, come back. And he does. Like, he just pops back into the screen. And he's like, what? he's like, what are you doing here? What are you telling me? He goes, okay, so check it out. There are zombies. What I need you to do is take this TV down to your basement and put a mirror, shiny side, toward the screen. And he goes, okay. And that's exactly what he does. Picks up the TV, heads downstairs. It's very spooky down there, obviously. Oh, whoa. Guess whose USB this is? RJ can see it. Oh.
I just threw it.
Yeah. Seymour Skinner.
Oh.
Boop.
Oh, you're tracking blood everywhere, man. Get the hell out of here.
Well, I got to get rid of this body. Yeah, there we go. Oh, he's so heavy.
Oh my god.
Hold
Oh
on.
my god.
There we go. So, he does that. He takes the TV down to the basement. He's got a toolbox and So earlier, one of the stupid things was he and his sister are getting the house ready for their folks. And so he is out doing yard work, and it seems like she did essentially jack shit, because we only see her hang one mirror in the hall. That's all she does. She goes, doink! So I guess I skipped a little bit, because before this, I guess he's out doing the lawn, and a blonde neighbor shows up who's like the typical 80s hot blonde. And oh my god, the acting is so awful too. She shows up, she's walking this little dog named Chocolate, we find out. And she walks up on him and she goes, "Hey, are you new here? I live down the street and my name's something." Oh yeah, she says her name is April. She says, "My name's April, but it sounds like something smells." I forget what she said, but she mentioned that her name sounds like something smells. I think maybe a dryer sheet. It doesn't matter. So he's like, "Oh, hey, cool. Why don't you come inside and we'll hang out for a bit." So he brings her inside. And she's like, "You mind if I take this dog off the leash? My arm is killing me." Now, for the viewer and listener, if you want to watch this movie, which I'm going to recommend at the end, spoiler alert, the dog is this big. It is a teacup poodle or something of the sort. Very small. So I don't know why it's ripping her arm off. But Jeff is like, "Okay, let me get you a drink." And he opens the fridge to literally empty of everything. There's nothing in there, not even baking soda. And he goes, "Oh, hey, how about a fresh glass of water as a change of pace?" Which is like, why even bother? Like, why are you writing these dumbass things into the whatever? Because you could just be like, "Oh yeah, there was Sunny D, there was purple stuff," or whatever. Does none of that. So the dog immediately, as soon as it's off the leash, runs away, runs out the door, which is like every door is always left open, runs into the woods, and you can see where this is going. Because the, gotta get this in there before it blows up. It's running through the woods. We don't necessarily see the zombies yet, but, you know, the dog goes, "Yipe!" And Deadsville. So the girl and Jeff, April and Jeff, she's like, "Oh, you don't understand. This is some rich asshole couple's dog, and they're, you know, I'll go to boarding school if I lose this thing," and yada, yada, yada. So they're looking for the dog, whose name, again, is Chocolate, except the only person who pronounces the name Chocolate correctly is Jeff, because Jeff goes, "Chocolate!" And April keeps going, "Chocolate! Chocolate!"
Chocolate.
Like, she makes it a 3-syllable word. And whatever. They're running around. Everything is like, it's very quiet during this section, except for when they're screaming chocolate, because the dialogue in the movie is so sparse. I don't even know how to. Whatever they say is either in service of the plot, which is seldom, or it's these idiots going like, "Oh, I like water," or "Let's eat beans," or "I'm going to college to be a aerobics instructor with a minor in music videos." Like, I didn't go to college in the 80s, but that seems a little too progressive for reality, for me anyway. Because your most liberal performing arts college today, I don't think you can get a degree in aerobics with a minor in music videos.
Yeah, probably not.
But whatever. So they find the dog dead, obviously. And she goes, "Oh, shit." So he immediately comes up with this story. There's the lemons. He immediately comes up with a story. She's like, "Oh, what am I going to do? The dog's dead, and yada, yada, yada." He's like, "Okay, well, what'll happen is just tell them that you were walking the dog and some jerk came along and threw a ball. The dog got the ball, choked on the ball. Now it's dead. All we got to do is take this dead dog and shove a ball down its throat." And she goes, "That's disgusting." 1, 2. Do you think it'll work? And apparently it does. Because Jeff later that night, this is before the shit I spoiled earlier about the woman coming out of the TV.
Uh-huh.
But she did not give him her number. But the thing is, she lives up the street, which will come into play later. She literally lives 3 or 4 houses up the road. So Jeff is looking in the white pages. Like, what are those? He's looking in the white pages, and he's like, He calls up, and a Latin American maid answers the phone. She goes, April, it's for you. And she's out of the shower. She's painting her nails. And she picks up the phone and she goes, hey, I'm so glad you called. Totally glancing over the fact that she did not give him her number. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So, and can you use the gun on this T-800, please? He's over by the furnace. I need you to break him into several parts.
Let me get it.
So she goes, hey, good news. The story totally worked. I told them and they totally believed it. So I think they bought it and I won't have to go to boarding school. But the downside is when they were asking who threw the ball, yours was the only name I had at the time. So
You're fucked.
they're pretty sure it's you. And they were talking about pressing charges, but I wouldn't worry about it because I don't think it's going to happen. And he's like, what? And she goes, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll make it up to you. Implying sexual misconduct in this scenario.
What guy are you talking about?
The T-800 by the... Yeah, if you can chop him up. There we go. Anyway. Get this slag into the furnace. Whoop.
Oh, I'll just walk around and do that then.
Well, you can do the... since we're down here already, can you fill up these bullet holes over here?
I don't know if...
You totally can, trust me. Right over there. Where did you get the gun, by the way?
I found it.
Nice. All right. Finish those bullet holes and then wipe off. You probably need the gun to wipe off the where's our safety because it doesn't. Oh, no, it's coming off. Never mind. I'm just lazy. Oh, God. Where was I? Oh, okay. So, yeah. They're on the phone. She goes, whatever. He's like, come on over because my parents will be back soon and then you won't be able to come over and fuck me. And she's like, oh, I'm busy. I'll catch you tomorrow. Give me a call tomorrow. And as they're about to hang up the phone, basically, she goes, oh, you know what's weird? I think my dad's fucking the maid. Anyway, talk to you tomorrow. Click. What?
Bye.
She just straight up was like, yeah, my dad totally banging the maid. And I was like, as I'm watching this the first time, and even at the second time, I was expecting something to happen. But, no, because I was expecting, the dad is going to be, listening in and there's going to be some tension. But no, it's just like she just drops a piece of information that's highly personal to her family.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. So that leads into him smoking the J, getting, the whole experience with the woman. She drops her clothes and whatever. He says, put it in the basement, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't take there right away. I misspoke. He wakes up the next morning and he's like, whoa, was that a dream? But then sees the lady's dress that's still on the floor. And he's like, uh-oh. So that's when we take the thing down to the basement. Boop. So as he's putting, he got the mirror. He's putting it on there. As that's all happening, he is enveloped in smoke from the TV because the... Now, even though all the zombies have escaped, there's still, I guess, one left. So a hand reaches out and grabs his arm. And he's like, oh, whoa. And he's like, every movie has this, and there are varying degrees of competency. And this is the lowest degree on offer. Because wrestling with this zombie arm that's trying to get him out of the TV. And there's a hatchet in the toolbox that he brought down. For some reason, because all he needed was tape, but it was in the toolbox, so he brought the toolbox. So he's trying to get this hatchet, and eventually, after a bunch of bumblefucking, it happens, and he cuts off the arm in like one fell swoop, right? And so there's blood everywhere. The hand is obviously still animated and on him. He fights it off and throws it to the other side of the room. And, with the least amount of craftsmanship or not craftsmanship, what would you call it? Competence. He has a roll of masking tape. He puts the mirror on the thing. He goes, zzz, rips off a 3-inch piece of tape, puts it on one side, one on the other, and he's like, whoo!
Done.
He doesn't wrap it. It's not duct tape. It's nothing special. He's just like, boop, done. And so he like takes a brief moment of respite to be like, whew, that was crazy because a zombie arm almost pulled me into a fucking TV. But then he remembers that the zombie arm is still pretty much hanging out. And he looks over and it's on a box. Now, again, since this is low budget, I have to applaud a couple of things. Because you can't, like, having a hand, a disembodied hand, move around would cost money. So what they did was he threw it on top of a moving box. And you know those old joke hand things that you'd get, that you'd stick your arm through it looked like you were holding a severed arm?
Yes.
It's basically that. So there must be a guy under the box who's like moving his hand around, and there's like a little bit of the chopped off arm hanging around. Oh, another gun. Nice. Oh, you have to put it down when if you're not using it?
Yeah.
That sucks.
So you gotta remember where you put it.
All right, I'm going to put it over by the incinerator. Boop.
And if you do it too much,
You'll burn the wall. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm a good janitor. You haven't done this shit for years.
I know.
Anyway, so he's like, oh, what do I do with this? What do I do with this zombie hand? And he looks into the toolbox again, and there's just like a brown paper lunch sack. And he goes, aha. So he picks up the brown paper bag. Like, you don't see him pick it up, obviously, because you can't see him do that. But we cut to him walking through the kitchen with a roiling lunch bag. And he's like, he puts it on the counter. And he's like, oh, what do I do with this thing? So he looks into the sink and there's a disposal in there. And he's like, yeah, perfect. And it's so disgusting. I don't know if this was an artistic choice, it is confusing. If it's not, then what the fuck? But he's clearing out the side of the sink that has the disposal that is just chocked full of old rotting food. Like there's chunks of old turkey in there. There's like lettuce and shit. It is absolutely disgusting. And he's just, now keep in mind, it's the side with the disposal. Dispose of the shit. No, he grabs every piece of rotting, waterlogged food in the sink and moves it over to the other side without the disposal so he can, get rid of his hand. So he, in a beautiful piece of editing, he picks up the roiling bag. They cut to his face. He does a bunch of movements. They cut to inside the sink where he's basically like pulling up an empty bag, implying that the whole arm went into the disposal. And he got rid of it. Whew, don't have to tell sis about the zombie TV. But as soon as he turns around, his sister, what's her name again? Zoe? Her sister Zoe is right there. And she's like, what are you doing? It's 6 a.m. And he's like, oh, just nothing. I'm not doing a thing. And she's like, you're so weird. He's like, yeah, that's me. Weird and crazy. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And somehow, on her walk from her room to the kitchen, even though she's groggy and like she's still rubbing the sleep out of her eyes when she gets to the kitchen, she goes, what happened to the mirror in the hallway? But the thing is, I think that's the only bit of work she did the previous day. So of course she's going to take pride in it. He was outside mowing and fucking weeding the lawn, and she spent 6 hours, putting up one mirror. He's like, oh, I don't know, it's gone or something. What doesn't matter. Shut up. Oh my God, there's so many burn marks over here.
Yeah.
I guess I'll clean them up.
Hey, I'm working on it over here.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Hey, yo,
I'm
let's
Christopher
read the
Walken
chat
here.
because you're ignoring it.
Well, because you're supposed to be the chat talker, and I'm the guy talking about the movie that no one's really interested in.
I don't remember where I left off. 80 songs for the theme. We're living in a viscera world, and I'm a viscera girl.
Oh yeah, totally.
Kayla says she still needs to rewatch Trigun.
Yeah, Trigun. That going back to the Wolfwood cigarette reference. Awesome show. Not germane though.
Of course, I stand up to get a snack and then hear RJ can see it. Sorry, that was a while ago. If it's quiet unless they scream chocolate, then is it quiet when Dirtbot screams lemons?
Chocolate! It's like that classic SpongeBob episode where they become chocolate bar salesmen.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one.
RJ says, was he doing the maid right at that moment? I have to go. My dad is doing the maid.
No, but here's the thing. It gets pretty crazy. Let me look at my notes to see where I'm at. Brother looks blah, 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 blah. Number in the book, says of the TV.
These bullet holes take so long.
Yeah, they're deep. Oh, okay. So yeah. Garbage disposal. Sisters, what are you doing? Then we're here. We're right on track. So we cut to the neighbor girl's house. April. She's eating breakfast, a nice bowl of Lucky Charms or Trix cereal or whatever. And so she's like, "Bye, Dad. I'm off to school." But no one says a damn thing. So she leaves. And the reason why no one says a damn thing is because they're both asleep. And now, here's the thing. The way that they are portrayed, like the way that April dresses, the way that they have a maid, it just all seems like these people are well off. But this dude and his maid sleep in a twin bed, in a room with no art on the wall, in like a dinosaur jump set for the fucking bed. It looks like a classic Ninja Turtles, like you'd go and be like, yeah, kids will love this. And so they're like basically right on top of each other. And the zombies, it's been 3 months and they're getting kind of restless. So they're wandering around and they break into the house. So we have a fairly prolonged scene of zombies doing shenanigans. So one of the zombies like finds a pair of glasses that he likes and puts on. The one zombie in the wedding dress, she is wandering around and stumbles into the bathroom and finds a very confusing item. Because in the house is April, who's got blonde hair and lots of it. There's the dad, who presumably wouldn't need the item I'm about to describe. And then there's the maid, who has a pretty decent amount, a nice coif of that beautiful brown hair that Latinos love so much, and also I do too. But the lady zombie finds a big puffy blonde wig on a styrofoam head in the guest bathroom.
Oh.
So she's looking at the mirror, the zombie is, and she's like, "Ugh." So, but she finds the wig, puts it on, and she goes, "Oh, this is much better." And I'm like, what the fuck? So, nothing is really going on because the dad and the maid are still sleeping it off, probably from their recent bank sesh.
Uh-huh.
And, I'm like, when are these people going to get killed? So, whatever. Our lady zombie wanders into the kitchen and she finds one of those old Oster blenders with like the big row of buttons.
Yeah.
So she's pushing all the buttons and nothing's happening because if you'll remember, if you were born in the 80s or around that time, to activate those blenders, there's one button that turns it on and each one of those is a speed. So she finally hits the on button and it starts, blending obviously. And at this time, the zombie with the suit and the glasses walks in and they both look at the blender. They look at each other, and then they start laughing. Like,
hey, you remember this?
like, apropos of nothing. I don't get why that was happening, but it did. So they're both laughing at this blender, and finally, the maid, like, hears it. She's like, "Oh, I'll go check on it." She gets out of bed, puts on a nice pink house coat. She's walking around. Now, all the zombies are in the house, but she hasn't seen any of them yet. So she gets to the kitchen and sees the lady zombie working the blender. And she goes, "Oh, Madre de Dios." And so there's a fat zombie who I will later name when he gets his physical attribute that he needs. But so this fat zombie comes in, he's like, and he's like laughing his ass off too. These zombies love to laugh. Yeah, typical stoners laughing at blenders, but they're dead. Zombies calm down when they get a wig on. Yeah, so, Jack Jones, USB here. So she's being chased down the hall slowly by this fat zombie who's like laughing, and he's got really gross teeth that are like the Billy Bob teeth you can probably still buy at dollar stores today. The thing is, these zombies never, until way later in the movie, they never eat anybody. They don't bite anybody. They don't do jack shit. So our stumbling, laughing zombie basically wraps his hand around her throat and starts choking her. And she's like, oh, no, no. But it's like the weakest movie choke you've ever seen. Like, his hand is so far open, like, her head is like, like all through it, not being choked. So she's looking around for ways to escape, and she sees that there's an iron on the table next to what she's doing, or getting choked. But we get a kind of a red herring at first, because there's like this big, like pink, puffy, knitted, what may be a scarf or a sweater at some point, with these huge knitting needles. And as a knitter, way too big for the project that was going on, but I'll let it slide. So she tries to grab the knitting needles, they fall. So she grabs this iron, and you know the irons have a point at one end. She grabs it and basically jams it into this zombie's head. And I go, whoo, great, because we all know zombie lore dictates that when you hit a zombie in the brain to cause enough that like a normal human would die, they'll die. Dude takes the iron 4 inches deep into his skull, and he's like, you know what? Totally fine with that. And he's like, still choking her, and eventually just chokes her to death. Never bites her, never does anything beyond just choking her to death. And so we move into the dad's, death scene, because he's still in bed. And here's the thing about movie eyes is, like, if you require glasses and you're in the movies, you are literally and utterly and totally blind without them, because he is in roughly a 10 by 10 room on a twin bed, and he is no more than 3 or 4 inches from these zombies. And he's like, honey? And he puts his glasses on, and he's like, oh my God, they're literally inches from my face. And he's killed off camera. Which is, great. So, of course, we got to keep going because there's more neighbors in this neighborhood. So we cut to, it kind of reminded me of the, remember in Harry and the Hendersons when Harry shows up when that lady is cooking the chicken,
yeah,
and she thinks it's a mouse and tries to hit his foot?
Yeah.
It reads very heavily of that. Because it's this lady, and she's making cookies, listening to the radio, and the radio announcer is telling her essentially how to make coconut fudge delights. And so this frumpy housewife is making this recipe. But the thing is, the dude who is giving the recipe is saying the ingredients incredibly quickly, and in the background, there is a timer ticking. So he goes, here's a cup of flour, baking soda, 2 full eggs, 1 egg yolk, and we'll be right back after this. It goes tick, 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 and she goes, whoo, like she's working up a sweat because she's having to cook so fast, or bake so fast, I should say. So as the commercial break plays for the 3 seconds that it does, she calls to her husband. She goes, honey, you're going to love these coconut fudge delights. And why write this the way that they did? I don't know, but it's fucking hilarious, because the announcer comes back onto the on the radio, and he goes, that's all for today, thanks for listening. And so the frumpy wife is standing there with a bowl of flour, baking soda, and 2.5 eggs, and she goes, what about the coconut? And I wanted to know the same thing, and also the fudge.
Right.
Never do we get any closure on any of that.
Well, damn.
It was a real bummer. But she hears a noise and has to go look in the laundry room. So she goes into the laundry room, and she opens up the washing machine, and our zombie lady in the wedding dress is in there.
Oh.
And so she she pops out, starts choking him, and through a very hilarious course of events, she ends up in the washing machine, and the lady zombie turns it on, and so there are these two fake legs spinning in this laundry or the washing machine, which is pretty funny to see. Even though those are not her legs, there are definitely men's legs because they are man's pair of shoes and there's a man's pair of pants that are being swung around in this washing machine. But, you know, true to form, our lady zombie and our zombie with the glasses and suit, like, laugh their asses off yet again. And I can get behind it this time. This time, yes, it was funny. So, I think, then they kill the husband. So the husband is sitting in the living room, and he's reading the paper, and he goes, "Honey, you remember that stock tip the busboy Paolo gave me last week? You would not believe what the stock is now." And he goes, I wish I would have invested instead of putting that money in the bank. Well, I wish you'd let me wear wear the pants in this relationship. And it's like, okay, whatever. So the wedding zombie, the lady, she's standing right behind the newspaper, and he goes, "Honey, when was the last time you took a shower? You stink." So he drops the paper, and bam, there's the lady zombie still with the hilarious blonde wig on. And again, low budget. So I might steal this specific. Well, I'm going to steal a lot of stuff from this movie to use in my other show, but this I will definitely steal. So she grabs old dude's head, pulls him up off the chair, and twists his head around. But it's done in 3 cuts. So she grabs his head, starts twisting, and as he gets to his maximum turn, they cut to the zombie lady again, who gives it another crank. We cut back to the dude, who's now doing this. And he's dead. So awesome, like, for low budget, I got to give them credit. The writing sucks and a lot of the other stuff sucks, but the way they do the things that they do on no budget was incredible. So husband's dead, wife is dead. Yeah, those are more or less just for funsies because they weren't characters and they don't really come into play ever as dead people ever again. But day goes by and it's time for April to come home from school. So April is walking down the street. We see a guy like working in his yard, and she walks into her house, and then you just hear a scream because obviously she found her dad and the maid utterly destroyed in there. And so Jeff and Zoe are in the in the living room, just basically doing jack shit, like staring off into the middle distance. And so they hear April scream, and within a second and a half, sirens start blaring. And so Zoe's like, "Whoa, are those sirens? I think they're headed down the street." And I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? But it doesn't matter. And so let's say school got out at 3 o'clock. She got home. Let's say she had to walk an hour at max. So it's 4 o'clock. The sun is still up is what I'm getting at. The sun is in the sky. He hears April scream. What's her name says it's down the street. So he goes, "April!" He grabs his jacket and runs out of the house. He does not reach April's house until nightfall. It is pitch black outside. And, he'd been running all day, and he shows up and she goes, "Oh, Jeff, my parents are dead." And she's like, I don't understand. No, I guess I do. It's very hard to pretend to cry. And so she can't, essentially. She goes, "Oh, yeah, my parents and all this other stuff and yada, yada, yada." And he goes, "Oh, you need to find a place to stay." He's like, "It's dangerous around here." And at first I thought, well, why do you think that? And I was like, well, the mom or the maid was like choked out. God knows what happened to the dad. It's probably a pretty grisly scene. So yeah, you can assume it's not safe. Totally understand.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, you need to come and basically stay with me. So she comes to stay with Zoe and Jeff in their house, which probably took them hours to get to, since it took Jeff a solid 6 to run 3 houses up the fucking block. So she's all sad and all this stuff, and they're basically just sitting in the shame and sadness of having their parents dead, or her parents dead. Knock at the door. Who is it? It's John Wayne Gacy. He's back. So somehow, now keep in mind, everybody who died that day. And not only that day, but like less than a day, maybe hours from when, from where we are now. And so when John Wayne Gacy shows up, he's like, see, I told you, now there's 4 dead bodies. And I'm like, what? Like, who, how did you, like, unless you're working for the cops or you have a police scanner in 1980s, whatever. So he says, now that there's dead bodies, will you finally listen to me about the fucking TV? And even though our boy Jeff was like completely checked out and was not interested in this dude's crazy stories, he ushers him into the living room and he's like, I think we should hear him out, Zoe. Let's hear what he has to say. God damn it. I need a mop bucket down here, please. And so, I don't need this. So here's how things would normally go in a movie like this. The crazy guy is found out not to be crazy. He knows everything that's going on, and he tells everybody what's up. So when Jeff says, we should listen to him, Zoe, blah, 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 it immediately cuts to the dude saying, there's no, John Wayne Gacy, cuts to him saying, yep, there's no doubt about it, and they do a name drop. He goes, I wrote it down. He goes, there's no doubt about it. It was the video dead.
Oh.
So the sister is like, what? As if they had not had a conversation yet about it. But saying something like, there's no doubt about it, it was the video dead, would, in my mind, necessitate some conversation beforehand where he gathered evidence, Jeff admitted to having the TV, and whatever, stuff would happen. But no, they have to work backwards now. So they have to explain the whole situation to the sister and the neighbor, April. So he goes, you know what? And like his story is really vague because he says the dead come out of the TV. I got the TV somehow. I think it killed his wife. It's kind of sketchy on the details. So, he says, or he doesn't say, but Zoe, she says the first thing anyone would say. She goes, well, why didn't you just destroy the TV? And he's like, don't you think I thought of that? He's like, the TV gets in your mind. What? Just, what?
Gets in your mind,
Just
man.
like, and keep, no, it does not. I should say, I'm not going to say keep in mind because you guys haven't seen the movie, but no, the TV does not take over anybody's mind. It does not influence anybody's behavior. It does nothing except emit smoke and zombies. Kayla, you're right. The movie does need the detective from Night of the Creeps because Tom, oh God, I can't remember his last name now, but yeah, I would love for somebody to come walking through this insane world saying thrill me at every opportunity. So the sister's in disbelief, but our John Wayne Gacy character does say that if they don't take care of them, that they'll all get a bite taken out of their ass or something along those lines. And to date, not a single one of the escaped zombies has bitten. The only way we've gotten visual confirmation of them getting their hands on a victim is like strangulation with a lamp cord, putting the party hat on the head, and the maid was strangled. We don't know how the dad died, but I assume it was some other, non-bitey thing that's going on. But he says, you know what? They'll bite your ass, and they're like, okay. So I should probably tell you little bit about the zombies we're working with. So as aforementioned, the lady zombie in the wedding dress, we have her. We got the zombie with the glasses and the suit who is always with the lady, and they're always laughing because they like to have fun. There's also a greaser zombie, and the interesting yet strange thing about the greaser zombie is like, classic greaser, you know what I'm talking about, the 50s with the leather jacket, but, it's totally zombified and dirty, and there's moss all over him. All their faces are completely ashen and fucked, and it's like totally disgusting. But the greaser zombie's hair is fucking perfect. Like, his hair is, like, I'm jealous of it. It's a beautiful blonde greaser coif that, withstood the test of time, because this guy has been rotting in a grave or in a TV for God knows how long. Still, totally cool hair. Really great. God damn.
There are so many bullet holes.
Yeah, well, there was a big uprising over here, if you haven't noticed.
Have you seen those big, like, briefcase thingies?
The lifts?
The things that you're supposed to put in these fold down cases attached to the walls.
Oh, they're like for med kits. You have to get them from some machine somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I still don't know where to put the, oh, is this it? Huh. We don't want to punch out yet.
Right, that's the punch out thing.
I think that's also where we put the USBs eventually, but I cannot confirm.
Possibly.
Anyway, where was I? Let's see.
I don't know, but I figured out how to do bits on my thing. Apparently I had some.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, yeah. So they're basically having that cliche argument of like, no, I don't believe you. This is stupid. Even though at this point, like, shit's fucked and everybody knows it. But the April, she's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. So she just leaves and goes to the bathroom and has the craziest. I mean, it is wild. Like, in Jurassic Park, I can't remember. It's probably 2, but the one where Alan Grant talks to the raptor that's that he's hallucinating and is in the seat next to him. The April, while she's in the bathroom, she's like gonna brush her teeth. But she's having flashbacks, and we kind of get to see how the dad died. Because April has flashbacks to things she has no right to know. She was not there. These aren't memories. I don't know how in the hell she's remembering the maid being choked or remembering her dad being pulled from the bed. But, that's just the world we live in. Oh, okay. So look, here we got the lantern. Oops. So you can... Vial of acid. Why would I want that? Solar flare. Yeah, here we go. First aid supplies. You got to vend it out of the vending machine over here.
I don't know where you are.
I'm downstairs.
Oh.
Boop. But
this is a huge level.
yeah, all of them are. So anyway, yeah, so she's having the flashbacks while she's brushing her teeth. And she brushes her teeth so hard, her mouth like gushes blood. And so she spits all the blood into the sink. And she turns around and there's the greaser zombie. He somehow, now, not somehow, I know exactly how. While they were all in the living room talking, he fucking kicked in the back door.
Nice.
It's not like he snuck in. He like bursts in the back door and I was like, oh yeah, his goose is cooked. Someone definitely heard that because that was the sound of a door being broken in. Negative. Nobody heard it. So, she faints. So he grabs her and starts leaving the house, and the sister, Zoe, sees the greaser zombie carrying April out of the house. And she goes, oh my God! So the greaser zombie hears her reacting to his actions, puts April down on the lawn, nice and gentle, and then comes back to get Zoe, who goes, oh, fuck this, and slams the door in his face. So he goes, brr, and goes back to April, and presumably absconds with her. We'll, more on that later. So now Zoe's on board. She goes, yep, that was a zombie. fucking got her, dudes. Sorry about it. And John Wayne Gacy, he goes, yeah, I told you. Like, they're fucking zombies, and I'm not here for my health. More notes to put in the fire. Boop. So, their plan is pretty stupid. John Wayne Gacy, he tells them, there's 2 ways to deal with these zombies. The first way is to lock them up in a place they cannot escape from to the end of. Eventually, they'll go crazy and eat themselves and each other. So we go, obviously, that's stupid. So, whatever, that can't happen. But then he says, okay, plan B is, oh, God, acid! God damn it. So, plan B is, he says, you can kill them with guns, with knives, with sticks, basically with weaponry of any kind. But you have to do it in such a way that they believe that they're dead.
What?
Yeah. They have to take a lot of damage so that they believe that they're dead. And at that point, you've essentially won. Because Gacy says, after you convince them, Jeff says, so, and then you like bury him or whatever. He's like, no. You don't bury him. You don't do jack shit with him. Once you've convinced them that they are dead, you leave them where they died and, quote, let nature take its course.
Oh.
Sound like it's not going to work? We'll see how that goes. Boop. So,
Plan B. Oh, God, acid.
so they're like, okay, so what are we going to do? He says, get every mirror in the house. All the mirrors. Big ones, small ones, medium-sized ones. It's weird that he has to delineate all 3 sizes, but whatever. He goes, we got to get mirrors because the reason why, and here's the greatest justification of the mirrors ever in any movie. He says, the reason why you use the mirrors is because the zombies don't like looking at themselves because it reminds them that they're dead. There's nothing magic about it. There's no...
It's because they still have a conscience?
Well, yeah, because they're laughing at stuff, so sure. But, that's the thing. They don't like mirrors because when they look at themselves and realize that they're dead, they're unhappy about it, and it makes them sad zombies. Apparently. So... And here's where, there's no reason for this part because no budget, you have to make some concessions. There was no reason to put all of the mirrors only on the front door, which is exactly what they do. There's 10 or 12 mirrors on the front door. Not on the windows, not on any other doors, not on the back door, which is a sliding glass door, by the way. It just, we'll worry about that later. Sweepy. I need more water down here if you get a chance.
Okay.
So they put the mirrors on the door, and John Wayne Gacy is like, we got to go out and hunt them. But he says, we can't go out at night because we need the sun to see them. And I'm thinking, what? Now keep in mind, this is 10 or 15 minutes after April was abducted. A zombie took April from the house, presumably to kill her, and obviously to kill her.
Yes.
But you know what? She's probably good till the morning. Let's wait till the sun comes up, and everybody's pretty much cool with that. Just put it by the, in there, in the room.
In this room?
Yeah. So, morning comes. They say, all right, it's time to get on our grind and kill some zombies and shit. John Wayne Gacy has brought this bag with him, and Zoe asks what's in the bag to literally no answer. So, Jeff, I guess, was an archery dude at some point, so he grabs a bow and arrow, or quiver of arrows, I should say. Grabs a bow, quiver of arrows. John Wayne Gacy's got his bag of goodies, which will have, payouts throughout the rest of the movie. And they go out looking for zombies. Except, looking for zombies is basically taking a level ground, easy peasy hike through the woods. Because we are treated as an audience to roughly 10 minutes of these two jackasses wandering around the woods, not saying a word to each other. They're just, you see them walk, then the camera cuts. We're at a different part of where they were. They're walking some more, and nothing happens. So, eventually we get a little bit of info from John. They're headed toward this shack out in the woods. I don't know why. There's no significance to the shack. No one was ever like, zombies love shacks. No, it's just like, we got to get to the shack because that's probably where they're going to be. I've got a hunch. And since he's John Wayne Gacy, everybody just goes, okay. So they get, basically deep into the woods. And there's a bizarre conversation they have that is just built to burn screen time, because John Wayne Gacy keeps referring to Jeff as boy because he's from the South, and he goes, boy, boy, boy. He goes, oh, look here, boy, and says boy all the time. So he's like, my name's Jeff, so don't call me boy. And he's like, you know what, boy? And he goes, oops. So he goes, what the fuck just blew up?
Whoa.
Oh, all the flares are going off. What is happening? This place is a disaster.
Yeah.
Well, if you need a lit flare, there's plenty of them over here.
I think I'm good.
Well, just in case.
Okay.
So to get even, Jeff starts calling John cow shit. He's like, my name's not boy. And every time you call me boy, I'm going to call you cow shit, cow shit. And this exchange goes on for like so long. Like the words cow shit and boy were said another 500 times. Anyway, that all sort of shakes loose, and they basically come to an understanding, a mutual respect. He says, call me Mr. Such and Such. I don't remember his last name, but it doesn't matter. Can I put out? Nope, can't put out the flares. Guess I'll just... Oh, maybe I put them in the bucket. Bloop. Did it. But now I've got tainted mop bucket. Shit. Well, so after the little scuffle, they got to split up because Jeff has to take a piss. So he walks off into the woods to take his whiz, and almost immediately is confronted by a zombie, which we saw earlier, but it really doesn't matter. He's a zombie we have not seen before. He's a semi-dapper gentleman in like a 30s attire. He's got a nice fedora and a suit and shit.
I need to show you something.
Sure.
RJ made this and says sent it in the Discord. He texted me. He goes, check the Discord.
Please send that to me, RJ.
It's in the Discord.
But I need the full-blown copy. I feel like there's going to be degradation from the Discord.
Yeah.
Please send that to me, RJ. Anyway, moral of the story is our new zombie shows up in the middle of Jeff's piss, and he's like, oh, crap. So he runs back, tells John, he's like, hey, John, there's a zombie over here. And John's like, all right, it's time to, go at it. So, oh, my God. It's like, I realize, zombies are slow. But let's speed it up for a fucking movie, okay? Because when you in the movie, you see the zombie, it's like the length of a football field away through the woods. He's got to navigate trees, and so they've got literally minutes of time to formulate a plan of attack. So Jeff takes up his bow and arrow. He starts firing at our dude. And first two shots, complete misses. He hits a tree, it goes funk, and John's like, have you ever used that before? And he's like, shut up. Shoots another one, misses again. Finally, lands 3 arrows directly in the chest of our 1920s zombie. And so the zombie's like, and just falls backwards. He does not seem to be in any pain or distress. His breathing is not labored. But John and Jeff walk up and he's like, fucking stupid zombies. He's so stupid he thinks he's dying. Well, anyway, let's finish the job. And I'm like, what? What? Like, you're supposed to let nature take its course. But no, nature is actually something in John's bag. So Mr. Gacy opens up his army pack and pulls out a chainsaw. And so he's standing over the body of the zombie who's like, still kind of pissed off that he got shot with 3 arrows. And he's like, I got to take care of business. So somewhat uncharacteristically, Jeff goes, oh man, like my favorite movie is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen it 6 times. And he goes, great, now shut up and let me cut up this fucking zombie. But Jeff pitches a little bitch fit and goes, no, give me the chainsaw. Come on, man. It's just Chainsaw Massacre is my favorite movie. You've got to let me chainsaw up this body. Now, I didn't say this earlier, but like 3 seconds before this, as they're looking down at the zombie with simply just 3 arrows protruding from his chest, Jeff goes, I think I'm going to be sick. Chainsaw comes out and he's like, yes, finally. So we get a prolonged, bunch of shenanigans where he's cutting through this zombie with no blood spray, oddly. You'd think cutting a zombie in half, and there's obviously a lot of blood because we're looking at it. None of it flies on them. None of it flies anywhere. But, like, this was a kind of cute detail, although I'm sure it was bad for the mice. There were 2 living mice in the zombie's guts. So when the body halves are separated, because he cut them, like, right above the pelvis, there were just 2 mice living inside this zombie's body. But the good news is all they've got to do is just cut the zombie in half, which they did. But here's the thing. It doesn't die. It's still like, yeah, thanks for that, fuckwits. So it's alive. The top half has 3 arrows in it. The legs, unknown status-wise. I don't know if they're still alive or what. But they're like, okay, that's cool. But keep going. Like, cut the arms off, cut the head, if you're going to, if you've got, let's say another beautiful touchstone is Return of the Living Dead, that, like, those zombies were, technically they were the first popularized brain eaters, and also they could take an unlimited amount of damage. Like, you could cut them into 1,000,000 pieces and each piece would still be alive. Oh. And that's basically what we are dealing with here, as far as, like, the living goes. They're not eating anything, or, like, people or brains or anything like that. But the point still stands. Cut that fucker into, like, I mean, if you're going to be lazy, maybe 5 pieces. But if you really want to, like, do the extra effort and get the extra credit and make sure you're not fucking slaughtered later, that 10, 20 pieces, like, what? Are they paying you by the cut? Or, does it cost you per cut? No. But whatever. So they just cut them in half and they run away. So they get to the shack. And again, I don't know why. No one ever says why they're looking for the shack, but they're looking for the shack. So the duo pulls up and they drop their stuff. And John drops his bag and he goes, okay. Again, here's another weird semi-magical aspect that goes completely unexplained. He throws down his bag and he says, Jeff, in my bag, there are a bunch of bells. I want you to run around here and hang the bells around the shack. And I'm thinking, of course, like, what a great booby trap, because they'll walk through the bells, not realizing, whatever, they're zombies. Damn it. I'm lagging hardcore.
How do you turn a box around that fell over?
If you hold the right trigger when you're holding, or you're obviously holding when you pull the right trigger, but the right thumbstick will allow you to manipulate it. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking, great, finally, something that makes sense. They're going to put up a mechanical device. In this instance, it's a very simple one, just a bunch of bells on strings. And they'll be able to hear the zombies coming. But here's the rub with that shit. John says, yeah, something about these zombies make bells ring. And that's it. They, like, when zombies, and he's right, because when the zombies show up later after the bells have been affixed to the trees and there is nobody touching them, they just start ringing their asses off. So I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe there is magic that no one's explaining. I don't live in this world, and the characters are bad at explaining it because obviously they're not going to explain the world that they live in to me, the audience member who they don't know exists. So fine, I'll cut them a lot of slack. So the next thing they got to do is, whoa, Jesus. He says, there's also one bear trap in there. He says, set that up where you think it'll work best. One bear trap. Sure. So, as our boy Jeff is doing his part for the cause, setting up all the bells and the traps and everything, John goes into the, I wanted a bucket, not a box. John goes into the shack, and like right there in the doorway is April's eviscerated corpse. Like, it looks like someone put a piece of dynamite in her chest and she just exploded, and she's just lying there with her head to the side. She's like, bleh, dead. So, John obviously keeps this to himself, because like, you're not gonna, I get, this is maybe the only logical part of the movie. I get why John didn't tell Jeff that April was completely turned into lunch meat, because he would have freaked out and would have been useless.
Yeah.
So after Jeff gets his all the traps set up, and again, there's weird with the pacing, but we'll get into it. So he goes, okay, now what do we do, John? We're going to sit here. We're going to wait. Like, what's happening? How are we going to get the zombies here? And he goes, I got an idea for a trap. So hard cut to Jeff hanging in a tree by a piece of rope. And he goes, this is your idea? I don't think I like it. Which you would have said when he was telling you, not after you made the harness, made the sling, threw the rope over the branch, tied yourself into it, and were lifted 8 feet above the ground. But, John, he's optimistic. He goes, don't worry about it. It'll work out fine. All we got to do is, just wait. And, you're the bait. So, one of the, so here what the supplies that they have. They've got the chainsaw, obvi, but John, Mr. Gacy, to his friends, he has also a double barrel side-by-side shotgun. So they've got the shotgun, they got the chainsaw, and they got, I need some water down here when you get a chance. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, they got the shotgun, which you'd think would be like the go-to for a zombie invasion. Like, everybody's wet dream in a zombie apocalypse is getting a shotgun and shooting a zombie in the face. But no. He puts it like on a stick by Jeff's feet and essentially makes like a tripwire trap with it. So Jeff is up there complaining, and he's like, well, you could at least give me the chainsaw in case, I'm stuck up here and they start overwhelming me. And he goes, all right, that's actually a pretty good plan. So he gives Jeff the chainsaw. Mr. Gacy goes back into the shack, and he goes, you know what? Okay, so when they come get you, I'll just pick them off from the shack, and they'll be none the wiser. Which, solid plan. Except 3 seconds later, John's completely passed out in the shack.
Of course he is.
He's like up against the wall. His cowboy hat's down on his face, and our dude Jeff is just hanging in the tree, waiting for shit to happen. And, obviously they're going to show up, and they do so slowly because he's looking around and the aforementioned bells start ringing. Before we hear or see or smell the zombies, they're like ding-a-ling-a-ling. So they all show up. So we've got dude in the suit, lady, Ironhead, one of my favorites. The greaser shows up, and I think one other one. some non-distinct one. But we got 5 zombies, and since he's basically just above arm's reach, they're all like tickling his shoes and trying to get him, but they can't reach him. And he's got the chainsaw, and he's swinging it around, not hitting any of them. But one of the funny things is, like, all of the zombies run away really quick and all get big sticks and start like poking at him like a piñata, which was kind of funny. So Jeff is screaming his ass off trying to get John's attention from the shack, and it goes on way too long for what is realistic and even too long for what's funny. But after a prolonged session of kicking, John wakes up and he starts shooting him from the shack with the arrows and takes out all of them but the wig zombie. And so he's like, whoa, that was a close one. And he cuts Jeff down. And for some reason, they don't cut up any of the other zombies, even though it was like imperative they cut up the first one, but whatever. I'm not them, and my motto is you do you. So they have to. Oh, another thing that happened is, like, during the melee, the wedding lady zombie gets her hands on the chainsaw.
What?
And like, cause Jeff drops it because he's scared. So she picks up the chainsaw and she's like wielding it at Jeff. And the only way that they come out unscathed is that for some reason, John had an extra mirror. And so he's holding this mirror up to the lady zombie. And even though she's got a chainsaw, as aforementioned, she's like, ugh, and she just runs off into the woods, still holding the idling chainsaw. So he cuts Jeff down, and Jeff's like, oh man, that was a close one. He's like, you're right. He's like, let's go track down that last zombie and get this over with. And I'm thinking, yeah, perfect, because it'll be super easy to find her. She's walking around with an idling chainsaw. Oh, damn it. So they, they're walking around. There's nothing happening, and they hear the chainsaw. And I go, oh yeah, baby, let's get her. And this movie, it's subversive because I kind of expected, because these zombies are pretty clever as far as zombies go. I semi-expected the lady zombie to be like lying in wait, and as they were looking around for her, to be like, oh, I wonder where she is. She'd like jump out and be like, ah, but no. They walk into a field and the chainsaw is just there idling in a pile of grass. So like, oh man, now how are we gonna find her? And John's like, I don't know. And Jeff's like, but you're the zombie super smart dude or whatever. And with zero pomp and circumstance, zero ceremony, they're standing with their backs to like a big bush, right? And like the worst way to die in any movie ever. So John's like, I don't know. They're both scratching their heads. The wedding day zombie lady comes out of the bush behind them, holding an arrow, and stabs John Wayne Gacy in the back, and he dies. He is no longer in the movie. That was it. That's a wrap on Gacy. He gets stabbed once in the back and goes down like a sack of shit.
Wow.
And I'm like, seriously? Because, okay, and I only tell you that because I don't want you to raise your hopes that he'll be coming back. Like, oh, it was only a flesh wound. No, he is gonzo. He took one stab to the back and is Deadsville.
Damn.
So, Jeff gets freaked out and he runs because obviously there's fucking zombies and shit.
Right.
So he's running. The lady zombie is chasing him. I can't remember if she picked up the chainsaw or not. It doesn't matter. But so this is now going to be a hilarious comedy of errors because these zombies are pretty true to the canon of slow, shambling. They're clever, but they're slow. And so I as the viewer was treated to minute upon minute of Jeff pretending, how like when you run in place, essentially that, Jeff essentially running in place through the forest as slow as possible, like building tension as the lady zombie is chasing him. And it takes minutes for him to get away, but he finally does. Oh yeah, she does have the chainsaw. I forgot. So she's got the chainsaw. She's chasing him. He can hear it. He's freaking out. He makes it back to the shack and finds April. He immediately runs in. He's like, "Oh, April! Oh God!" And there's like half a second's given to sadness.
Right.
And so now it's time, time for revenge. He picks up a weapon. I forget what it does. Oh no, that's right. Because it doesn't make any sense. He's like in there, crying over April. The lady zombie comes into the shack, busts in. She's got the chainsaw. And, oh God. I just made a worse mess. She's got the chainsaw, and she's going to come at Jeff. But Jeff somehow has a magic pocket because he reaches behind himself and retrieves a machete.
Oh.
Where did he get it? I don't know. I've seen him the whole movie, and as I was seeing him run through the forest, he had no machete behind him. But he does that classic cartoon thing, reaches behind him, grabs the machete, and runs at her. And how would you describe it? It defies all odds. He runs at her, takes a swipe at her head, and takes it clean off her shoulders.
Whew.
But then the camera zooms out, and we find out that he's been completely run through with the chainsaw. Like, he goes, yeah! A camera zooms out, and there he is, chainsaw through his torso, like, ugh! So he's dead now, too. So, all of our characters, save for the sister Zoe, Deadsville. And, if you watch this movie, you'll realize how little of the movie Zoe is in it, because, completely unimportant. But she's, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, we have to cut back to the house, because Zoe stayed behind, and John Wayne Gacy, before they left, was like, here are the keys to my truck. If we're not back by 10 minutes before sundown, he says, get in my truck and get the fuck out of here. But, what's that going to do? They're unstoppable zombies. He knows that. I guess, whatever. The plot needs to move. So we cut back there, and it's not quite dark yet, but she's getting upset. She wants to get out of there. So she's like, all right, this is it. I got to go. So she takes the key, and since it's the 80s, you can't leave a voicemail or text. She's got to leave a note. So she picks up this marker and says aloud as she writes in the biggest letters ever, Jeff, went for help. So she runs out of the house. Zombies are already there. They're already all around the house. So she goes, ah, and slams the door. But all the mirrors are on the front door, and they can't figure out another way in, so she's safe for now. So we've got Greaser Zombie and everybody showing up, and even, I want to say it was this guy, but maybe I'm misremembering, but one of the zombies punches through one of the windows. And I think it was the zombie that was cut in half. Because the part that I forgot to tell you was they all basically rallied. They all got killed and believed they were killed. The lore of this movie said they should. But the zombie that was cut in half basically pulls himself together and tells everybody to buck up, essentially, and let's get to it. And so his arm comes through the window, and I'm like, okay, finally. They're going to go around the mirrors. They're going to break in, maybe the back door, the side door. Because remember, the way the Greaser Zombie got in the first time was through the back door, which is presumably still unlocked or at least broken. But they don't. They stay outside. They look at the mirrors. They go, ugh, that's gross. Because they don't like looking at themselves. And it's a stalemate. So,
Weird.
but then there's another red herring that goes nowhere because the greaser zombie, he gets a big stick, like they were doing with the piñata thing earlier, and he's like trying to knock the mirrors off of the door, which again are held on by the same cheap masking tape that was used earlier in the movie because no budget. So and the thing is too, it kind of made me believe that there was a chance because the greaser zombie actually knocks one of the mirrors off the door with the stick.
Oh.
But then stops. He's like, oh, nope, it's a lost cause. And he's like, gives up. Okay, cool. So she's in there and, oh, I forgot another thing. So while John was telling them how to get rid of the zombies and how they were indestructible and all this other shit, for some reason, and this is tied to the mirror thing, like they don't like looking at themselves, and that's more or less an I don't want to say an ego thing, but it's a vanity thing for the zombies. But that ties into the fact that the only reason they kill people is because the people get scared and that offends the zombies, and that's why they go crazy and kill. So in her inner monologue, she hears John Wayne's ghostly voice going, they run off of fear. And then she hears Jeff's ghostly voice going, well, what if you weren't afraid? And whoa. So she decides to give it a shot because what else is she going to fucking do? When she looked out there, everybody's going batshit. And one of the funniest things is like somehow Ironhead got into the dude's truck and was like, ha 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 ha, ha, like pretending to drive and like honking the horn. And the keys were in there. I saw the keys in the ignition. But whatever. Logic errors, not a problem. So she opens the door and is like, hi. And they're immediately pacified. So she's like smiling and she's like, won't you come in? And essentially they have, and I don't know if this is a legitimate, like maybe not legitimate, but intentional callback or not to the Texas Chainsaw bit, but she invites them in and makes them beanie weenies. She opens can after can of, it doesn't look like beanie weenies, it's like say chili or something, but she opens up can after can of chili, heats it up on the stove, and then feeds them in a scene hauntingly reminiscent to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene where they eat the people.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, if that's intentional, it might be clever, but I don't know. So let's just burn this. So she's feeding him and like there's like nothing happens. The suit zombie like makes her sit down. He's like rubbing her hand while they're sitting at the table because they're happy with everything, I guess. But like, I think the Ironhead said, he doesn't say obviously, but he's holding up his empty glass. She goes, oh my, how forgetful of me. I need to get you something warm to drink.
Oh, Jesus.
Warm, not cold, not Southern hospitality, but a warm drink in like a glass, whatever. Doesn't matter. So she's like off to get the thing and she runs into the greaser zombie and there's like a tense moment there where you think he might, see through the ruse. But it turns out there's just another mirror in the house hanging on the inside of the door that leads to the basement.
So he sees it.
Yeah, he sees it and he's a little pissed off about that. But she thinks fast and grabs an apron and puts it over the mirror, and so he's pacified. But as she's looking down into the basement, she hears John Wayne Gacy again. And his voice says something reminiscent of him saying, they have to be locked up somewhere that they can't get out so that they'll go crazy and end up eating each other. And she goes, aha, the basement. And now also, I'll remind you that the basement is still where the TV is. It was never removed. So she goes, all right. She has a plan. She's going to get them into the basement. She's going to lock him in there. And since the mirror's on the door, it's completely escape-proof. So she comes back upstairs to where they all are, and they're all looking at a magazine. And she's like, oh, what are you guys looking at? And it's like a National Geographic or something, but there's like a picture of a ballerina. And she goes, oh, dancing. You guys like to dance? You know where the best place to dance is? And they're like, buh? She goes, the basement. And they go, oh.
Okay.
So she leads them to the basement, and it goes off without a hitch. The plan is going pretty well. So she pulls out a record player, which I think was in the basement, or she may have brought it down. It doesn't matter. The logistics don't matter. She got a record player, but there are no records. So she hands the record player to one of the zombies. She's like, okay, you guys stay here. I'm going to go upstairs and get some records, and then we'll have a dance party in the basement. And they go, oh, okay, that's cool, essentially. But like halfway up the stairs, one of the zombies is like, buh? Oh, it's the half guy. The guy is cut in half. He like finds a record and holds it up for the group to see. And they go, buh? And they all turn to look at her, and she goes, yikes! And so she books it up the stairs. And in the 8 steps she has left to get up to the ground floor, she falls 7 times.
Wow.
But good news is she makes it up there.
Oh.
So she makes it up there, slams the door, and there's the thing where you slam the door and you put your back against it and you're crying. And you're like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I made it out. A la like the raptors in Jurassic Park when they're trying to get in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was something else at play that I am missing here, but immediately Ironhead the zombie starts wigging out. And not in a normal way. He is wigging out in a normal way, but also his face is pulsating, and the sides of his head are blowing up like a balloon or like a diaphragm is under his skin. And I'm like, but why? So the other zombies get a load of that nonsense, and they go, yep, we know what we've got to do. And they rip him apart.
Oh.
And there's like, really watery blood going everywhere, and it's a complete massacre. But at some point, the TV turns on, and either they are all sucked into the TV or they go willingly. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter because it makes no difference one way or the other. So they all get back into the TV, and since they're locked in the basement and there's a mirror, they're pretty much stuck. So it's morning. Well, we cut to the morning, rather. And Zoe is taking tentative steps outside. She's like, this is scary. There were zombies. And like every time a bird chirps or leaves rustle, she's like, So she's like, zombie PTSD, pretty hardcore. So she's walking around and everything is safe. She's pretty much scot-free, and she just wanders off camera. And I was like, okay, that wasn't bad, but the movie's not over. So now, after she wanders off screen, we cut to the inside of what I thought was a mental hospital, which was later proved to be a mental hospital. So, nice white painted walls. There's a nurse wandering around, and we hear... Oh, the VO in this movie is off the chain, by the way. So we hear the VO of a man and a woman who are like, oh, I can't believe this happened. What our kids, we left them alone, and everything, this horrible thing happened, yada, yada, yada. And the dad, being an 80s dad, he's like, I just hope it wasn't due to the drugs. I hope my kids aren't on the drugs. And she's like, oh, I don't know what it is. We just need to support our daughter or whatever. And so they go into her room. She's shell-shocked beyond belief. She's sitting in her bed, like in the classic, like sitting in the fetal position with her arms around her legs and her legs pressed against her chest and everything. And they're talking to her as if she's a mental patient, which she technically is. They go, oh, you know, don't worry about it, honey. We'll come visit you again. And, oh, good news. We brought you something to make your stay here a little better. And guess what the fuck they brought her? Take a wild guess.
The chainsaw.
No, why would they bring the... No! They brought the fucking TV!
Oh, the TV. Yeah.
The whole crux of the goddamn thing. Yeah, so an orderly pushes the TV in, sets it up, and I thought, okay, we're definitely going to see Miss Catatonia here going apeshit as soon as she sees the TV. No.
She's fine.
Yeah, they roll in the TV on the TV tray. They apparently visiting hours are from 7:01 to 7:01 and 45 seconds.
Oh.
Because they're like, okay, it was great seeing you. Bye. And they immediately leave. And of course, as soon as they leave, the TV pops on, and it is the same, whatever the fucking movie was called. What do they call it?
Video Dead?
No, the movie within the movie. Zombie Blood Nightmare. Zombie Blood Nightmare. And it all starts all over again. And so it ends in a classic hacky, scream cut to black. And we're left with, But here's the thing. I enjoyed the movie. I didn't think I was. Even halfway through it, I was like, nope, I think this sucks. But there was enough crazy bullshit that I think it swung around for me. If you're familiar with the way I rate movies, it's a circle from 1 to 10, and 1 and 10 are very close. So you want to be a 1 or a 10 ideally. What you don't want to be is a 5, because a 5 is an unremarkable, bland nothing.
Yeah.
So after giving it some thought today and after taking all my notes, I was like, you know what? What is this? Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it so bad it is good? And I think, in my heart of hearts, I think it's a 2.
Wow.
It is almost a perfect bad movie. And the only thing I'm going to gripe about is almost the same thing I always gripe about with these sorts of movies is the editing. If the editing, I realize the budget is bad and you have to spend the screen time somehow.
Yeah.
But if we could just edit out all the dead space of the walking, the weird silences, the 30 seconds of staring at each other before we can recognize each other as human beings, any of that, I feel would bump this baby up to a solid 1. But that's the problem with it. It's so slow and it's so ham-fisted, and it's just not, it's not lean. It's flabby. There's a lot of fat in this film, and it's poorer for it because what we end up with is a 90, exactly. It's padded to an exact 90 minutes. It might even be 91 just to for good show. But if it were a tight 60, or I'd even take a somewhat loose and disgusting 75, it would probably be, as close to perfection in bad movies as you could get.
Wow.
And since it's free on Amazon Prime, I'm going to recommend it. If you're watching this and sat through all of this bullshit that I've been saying, I give it a strong recommend. Because it's going to do things that most movies don't. And only because, by that I mean it does things in a creative way, but the double edge of that sword is it's because there was no money. When I was talking about when the lady zombie turns the dude's head around.
Yeah.
That was awesome and hilarious, but if they had the money to buy a fake body and just have the dude behind it spin and actually look like he actually got his head turned around, I think that would have cheapened it, ironically.
Huh.
But it was so enjoyable. But since it is a slow burn, it loses a solid letter grade.
That sounds like a strange movie.
It was. And the thing about it is, when I was looking it up on IMDb before finishing the movie, because when I stopped watching it the first time, I hadn't yet seen the character called the Woman get killed. So since she was, and she gets special mention in the credits in the beginning. She goes, or the credits go, such and such as the Woman. And I go, oh, she must be, this is a compelling character. Like, the Woman?
The Woman?
No, she's just the woman who shows up, gives our Jeff Boy blue balls, and then dies. So, and that's the thing I like about it too, is the deaths are, like, when they're not being hilarious, they're realistically stark and anticlimactic. Like, if you're going to get killed by a zombie, there's a good chance it'll be because you weren't paying attention, and it's not going to be like you're going to die a hero's death. When John Wayne Gacy gets stabbed in the back by the zombie lady who's just standing there holding an arrow that she must have, ripped out of one of her buddy's bodies. And like, he doesn't get like a last line. He doesn't get a last yell. She just goes, and he goes, and that's it.
Out of the movie.
It was, I don't know. It feels like it's going to be one of those movies like The Last Dinosaur, where the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck? But now that I've gotten some time to sit with it, I'm like, maybe. Okay.
What?
Do you have I got an idea. If you can take an empty mop bucket downstairs and put all the USB drives in it and bring them up here, I'll start putting them into the reader.
Empty mop bucket.
There's one behind me in the... Dope. Boop. So yeah, it's The Video Dead if you're interested. It's on Amazon Prime. If you've got that, it's free. It is dead nuts 90 minutes, maybe a minute over.
You said downstairs, right?
Yeah. They're all on top of the lift in the same room as the incinerator.
Okay.
But yeah, I found it thoroughly enjoyable, but since it was a slow burn, the first half was miserable, but the second half lit the first half on fire. So it all, in hindsight, got a pretty decent score out of me.
Oh, fuck. I can't pick these up off the thing.
Why not?
Because it wants me to pick up the whole box.
Oh, shit.
So I can't, it won't even, none of the USBs light up.
What? I was able to pick up some.
I wonder if I can push them all to the ground.
Dang it.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair that the mop bucket machine produces bloody limbs.
I don't think it's fair that my game is totally glitching. Or it glitches like it gets you stuck in a...
Mine just slows down
Corner.
every once in a while. Boop. Anyway, so what do you think, guys? Are you going to watch the movie?
Yeah. After you told them the whole thing.
Well, and that's another... I'm glad you brought that up, because there is something about it that I won't be able to explain. There are so many nuances and so many intricacies, and the acting is so insane. There are a million different things that I wish I could tell you about, but are either lost to my memory because they were too insane to take in on just 1.5 viewings, or, if I tried to describe them, it would be a disservice to you if you wanted to watch it. But yeah, I wholeheartedly, because it does all the zombie tropes that I have an impacted ass full of now that we're on this side of the pop culture zombie apocalypse. But it's done just the right way, where it doesn't feel hacky, it doesn't feel obnoxious, it doesn't feel shitty.
RJ says probably not gonna watch it. obviously, you know. but I enjoyed watching you tell me about it.
Well, you can always watch Cars, RJ. There's always Cars.
There's always Cars. It's true. Let's talk about Cars.
You guys want to talk about Cars? Get in there, you stupid.
I think
There
I
we go.
got all of them. I had to shake all the USBs off of the thing in order for me to be able to pick them up.
I got all the ones up here totally taken care of.
Oh my god.
What?
I started walking with the bucket and they literally all flew out of it.
Oh, yeah. Physics aren't a strong suit of this game.
Oh my god.
Like, I feel like Fallout guys, they saw this.
Fall Guys.
No. yeah.
Not Fallout Boy.
Not Fallout Boy, not Fallout guys, but actually Gang Beasts. I feel like Gang Beasts actually, like, they were like, you know what everybody likes about Viscera Cleanup? The fact that you can't do shit.
It's true.
Because I remember the old days of 2018 walking up a flight of stairs with a big box of something and the whatever it was just flying out like it was a popcorn maker on full.
Yeah.
Hey, good news. A full human body will fit in a box.
Oh, I've been just making them into big balls.
Balls?
Yeah, you can shoot them with the thing and make them a big ball.
Wouldn't that make it like dirtier?
It does, but you can fit 2 in a bucket.
In a bucket?
The biohazard things.
Why is there a can in here?
It was in there when I took it, and so it's still there.
Is this all of them?
Yes.
All right.
Can you bring the bucket machine downstairs? You know,
I don't think you can bring. That's part
you
of
can
it.
carry this weird thing that makes the med kits.
What? No, that's not what makes the med kits. That is a ladder. Technically, it's a hydraulic lift.
Where? Oh. Okay.
That's for cleaning in hard to reach places like the ceiling.
Oh, you didn't. Oh. I've been like throwing out the computers.
I did for a couple, but
It is a mess in here.
I'm just a janitor.
What have you been doing down here this
I
whole
don't know.
time?
Mopping?
Yeah, well, there's shit all over the
Other
place.
stuff?
There's bottles in here.
In where? What are you talking about?
I'm in the basement in one of the rooms, and there's bottles all over the. Oh my god, there's burn marks everywhere.
Yeah, you have no idea what it looked like before I got to it.
Holy shit. I thought I was doing poorly.
Who are you, my boss? Well, yeah, I can't reach those. You need the fucking ladder.
Oh, look, I can reach them.
Oh, look, yeah, you made it worse.
Shut up.
Congratulations.
Give me a bucket.
I don't know how to get this graffiti off. It doesn't come off with a mop, and it doesn't come off with a broom.
I don't think it comes off. I don't think that's something we need to take off.
It totally is. We're fucking janitors.
Oh my god. Are you upstairs?
I'm downstairs.
There is a. Oh my god. There is one of those yellow buckets just going haywire all over the walls and the ceiling and just flying literally everywhere.
Well, let's take a look here. Maybe it's just something you're seeing. It's just part of your psychosis. P.S. The upstairs is still a fucking dump, too.
Do you see it flying around?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god. It just smashed you in the face.
Oh, look, I'm giving a really creepy back massage.
Oh, thanks. I needed that.
Okay, so.
Oh, son of a.
Chunk.
Oh, okay. I didn't knock it over. Okay.
Here we go. Here's your.
Do anything with these random, like, extra tablets we find?
Because
Because if I do anything, I end up dropping it. I don't, like, keep it.
I've been burning them, I think.
Okay, I'll just stick it in the bucket in my.
The only thing we need for sure is the USBs. There's got to be key cards around here too, because the amount of,
Locked doors?
yeah, seems disproportionate.
I hope we don't have to do anything in those locked doors. Because this is.
If
a
you
lot.
want, you can start filling up the medkit holes with the medkits.
I'm picking up garbage.
I just said
About
if you want.
corporate pigs, fascists. They spelled corporate wrong.
Yeah, this says to hell with you
Oh,
and no droids.
they eat Chinese food here.
I mean, they're not animals. Let's see. Max Cornwell, station technician. Sanitation technician, I'd say. Not station. It's almost time. Thanks to Ruth's help, we now have a better understanding of the office layout and what areas we need to secure if this little protest of ours is going to have any success. For too long, we've suffered in silence. Bob fights for us. Now we'll fight for him. We will be heard. 2/12/2184. Boop. Sorry you all died.
Sorry about it.
There we. Is this a?
Listen, we will be heard. Oh.
See, here's like another. I don't know. Like there's. Imagine hiring a janitor and then, oh my god, you burned all our computers.
You were just supposed to clean up the blood.
Oh, they probably want the bodies out of there too.
Yeah.
I need to bring up. Oh, it's another USB. Cha-ching!
Apparently my...
From Patrick West. Don't worry, Patrick. Maybe these are their consciousnesses. It is the future.
Oh, maybe.
Back to the home office with you, Patrick. There's so many buckets. Who packed this?
Who packed what?
This floating art structure of glass and meat. The hell?
May have been me.
Oh.
Okay, med kits. Where are the med kit things at? Is it down by the incinerator?
Yeah, if you go to the incinerator, go through that back room. There's a little machine that you can switch to like a lantern, a canister of acid, or some other bullshit.
Oh my god, we're tracking blood up the stairs.
The toughest taste in the galaxy, X-Skunk. What?
So there's 2 ladders?
Ladders? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Here, I'll show you. Do, 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 do.
I got it. How do you do it? Is this a med kit? Bend.
Zip. There you go.
Got it.
Vend me another one. Now all these dead bodies will be able to heal themselves. Oh yeah, come on over. All right, dude. There we go.
Oh my
And
god,
you-
it's glitching so much I can't, like... Okay. Close. Are there more of those?
There's the one I'm working on. Except someone left a bunch of giant garbage can art structures in the way.
How do you win? You win by cleaning up the entire place and then they grade you.
Yeah. That's why, like... Oh, crap. RJ, you should get in on this because it's definitely more than a 1 or 2 person job.
Yes. It's fun.
Because I think when I used to play it with me, Adam, and Andy, it took us... Oh, Jesus.
Hold on, let me see if my mop can fix this.
It's probably filthy.
My mop's not filthy.
Well, either way,
See?
it took like 3 or 4 hours to clean a place utterly, and like I thought this one was small. Like, since this one was an uprising, I was like, okay, there'll probably be less monster parts or whatever, but no. There's just as much shit here, and it's just as big as every other place.
Yeah.
I think the only small one was like the foundry. But that might not be the name. I just remember it being a place where they smelted metals. Well, here's your retirement plan, Susie. Ugh.
It looks like my type of game, says RJ.
It's... I can't say that it's fun because it's not necessarily fun, but it is a relaxing and enjoyable diversion. Because there's no real danger. You're not worried. Like, all the carnage is over. This is what takes place after most video games.
Right.
You just get to carry stuff around, clean stuff, burn things in the giant incinerator.
There's another med kit thingy. Let's see.
I want to check for... Oh, there's a missed bullet hole.
Why does this one keep opening? Close.
Some bullet holes
Take
seal
forever?
up no problem. Others, it's a disaster. My broom is filthy.
You have a broom?
Yeah. You didn't pick one up?
There's a bullet hole in the stairwell. I don't have the gun.
There's a broom down here if you want one.
I don't need it right this second.
It does a worse job than the mop, but... But at least it does the job. And if your mop is too dirty and you have an urgent need to clean...
Yeah. So yeah, RJ, I think it's like $12.99 on Steam.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and we both missed the summer sale because I was going to get it for him because I figured, why not?
Yeah.
But I mean, if $12 isn't that much, maybe next payday you'll find it in your stocking.
Stocking.
And then you'll find me stalking you at work.
Ooh. In that nice luxury pooping bathroom.
Yeah, it's your luxury pooping bathroom. And that's another thing about this game. It's already a long-ass game, and then they'll fucking drop gallons of goo out of the places that are supposed to be clean.
Close. You're in there. Ugh.
Seats taken.
What is happening?
Where'd my mop go?
Blood all over the
There we
ground over there.
Over where?
By your feet.
Yeah. Remember when I was like talking about how they'll disgorge a bunch of gore? That literally just happened. The spurring of the reason I talked about it.
There's blood over here.
Ugh, my frame rate is going crazy.
You've got a bucket or a... The big bin is still going crazy on my screen. All over the
There
place.
we go. I caught up. Okay, now. Bin no blood, please. Thank you. Oh, man. We're not even going to get like half of this job done.
No, we're not. These protest signs are like a pain in the ass to put into these.
Yeah, because they're like dumbass shapes.
Yeah. Boop.
What is this? Oh, it's just a sign. Take a walk in our boots. Yeah, now you're all dead.
Oh, that's funny. I just picked that sign up too.
Error. And I guess also one of the good things about it is like, I don't think they penalize you for destroying stuff that you shouldn't. Because, I mean, technically you could be like, oh, there was blood on it, so had to.
Right. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah.
It's low stakes enough that you can do it and not really care. Plus, you can leave whenever you want. Like, that time clock will let you leave, and you just get a shitty score.
Yeah.
You know, that's playing it your way. At McDonald's. Swish, 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 swish. My Space Swiffer.
Hope everyone has a good night. You going to bed, RJ?
Good night, RJ. Yeah, we've been at it for a while. Damn it, I'm out of water again. The mop buckets are the hardest things to wrangle, but they're the most essential.
Yes.
And then they go to like 4 swipes. My broom's dirty. Splash, splash, splash.
Damn boxes. Like, they're too big to put in the bucket into the...
Oh, shit. You can actually... the broom works, so does the mop, but it's so slow!
For what?
For the graffiti.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the fact that we have to do the graffiti too is like... There's no way.
Yeah, look, I've been wiping this wall for 20 minutes. You can come see how much I've gotten done.
Oh my god, we need like 6 people.
Just focus on the cans. Dough.
Just watching you do this, because I know if I go over there, I'm going to push you out of the way and... Boop.
If VR were in a place that was competent, this might be fun
Yeah.
in that way. Because, like, just squeezing and then releasing buttons is not super immersive. Boop. In you go, little Chinese food container. Keep our streets free and clean. Wish you could, like, put a foot into one of these and stomp down the garbage.
Right?
That's an essential part of cleaning, is your foot stomp of the garbage.
Yeah. So we
This
don't
is
have...
2184. They haven't invented boots?
Oh my god, this fucking tablet thing.
Dude. You can pick up one shell casing at a time.
Yeah, that's bullshit. You've got 2 hands. Why can't you at least pick up 2?
Or scoop them.
Yeah.
Oy. Dude.
If only there was something acidic that would dissolve the graffiti.
RJ. All right, let's do this. I will throw some acid.
In a bucket? Does it go in a bucket?
No, it comes out in a canister like the secret of the ooze.
Oh yeah. Oh, duh.
This is gonna be a... Oh, it gives you 3 at a time. I also don't know how to throw them. Is there a throw button? That's jump.
If it's a spray thing.
Don't! Well, I dropped it at my feet. It's not a spray thing, it's a canister. Like Secret of the Ooze.
I'm coming down there.
Oh, yep, there's a throw button. Crap, what was it? I think it was B. Let me try. Oh, it kind of worked. RJ, you're semi a genius. Oh, but barely. That looks like... that saved me like 8 strokes of the mop. Let's see what happens to Dracula or this devil.
Oh. How do you throw?
B. I told you. That damn didn't break. There we go.
Huh.
Oh, now my wall's all acidy. Oh, this is making it worse. We need like here's the ideal way to do this. You've got like 8 people, 1 person on bucket duty, 1 person on box duty, 1 person with a mop. Like this game screams for a delivery person. And then if you miss the bucket by half an inch, you get shit on the floor. All right, so that's good. RJ, without ever playing this game, knew that the acid had a use.
Oh, fuck. Where are you with that bucket?
Oh, yeah. I was pushing a guy's corpse with a broom. Bucket delivery.
Now for real, good night. Good night, RJ.
Good night, RJ. Thanks for stopping by.
Do I need to come get a bucket? I'll come get a bucket.
And that's the thing. Like, these are huge pains in the ass to carry around. And once you spill it, then you now have a huge pain in the ass that you have to take all the way to the incinerator. The bucket creating machine should also have a function to destroy the buckets. Or at least swap out the water.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. Like, I get the challenge of having everything be on a second floor and have nothing be on the first floor. But why can't they just have two of everything? Like, if they had...
It's against the rules.
Fuck. I dropped my bucket.
Give me some more acid. Acid. I wish one machine produced mushrooms.
Oh my god, there's blood over here. Is there blood over here? Son of a bitch. Just gonna stay up here.
In dark rooms, it's impossible to tell when your mop is dirty. I guess that's why they created lanterns, you idiot.
Oh, there's a leg back here. No wonder why it's dirty.
Boop. All right, vend me up some acid. No, I didn't want acid. I wanted to clean the acid. There we go. There's a bullet hole behind the graffiti.
Oy, oy, oy. There's so much graffiti. Like, just walk. Oh, my. Sweet Christ. Guess what I did?
You made something dirty again?
I dropped the bucket
Oh,
that I was throwing into the incinerator because it was dirty.
Yeah, this is a fool's paradise.
Can we save this? Like, to come back and play it? If we do another live? I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they wouldn't. What's a game without a save feature? You know, not for nothing, but by the year 2184, they should find a way that you can clean stuff that doesn't eventually make it dirtier.
Yes. And, like, why would bullet holes just look like they're gonna disappear and then come back? They, like, fade out and come back in. Oh my god.
Keep going. More!
Fuck!
There, see, you just gotta put
Yeah, but I don't
the
want to,
pedal
like,
to the metal.
burn it.
Well, I mean, it's gonna. I think the burning is random. You just gotta go and go and go until it finishes. I'll be here with the mop to stop the burning if it decides to. See, look at that. Bam. It's time to pay the piper or the janitor. In you go, my buckety friend.
Oh, it's so dirty.
Boop. Oh. Ugh. What are you doing over here?
I haven't done anything.
Let's get some of these in place. Oopsie daisy. Oh, it's making it worse. Ugh.
Oh, did you take my bucket that was over
Wee. Yeah, I burned it because it was empty.
No, there was another one there that had water in it.
Yeah, that one was filthy. I had to burn it because I splashed it in, or put my mop in it and splashed gross shit everywhere. Yeah, there's got to be like key cards or something around here. We've also got to have a plan of attack. Like, the strategy would have to be like all the big stuff that won't fit in these boxes goes into the incinerator first. Then you work down to stuff that'll fit in the boxes. But then the blood, like the liquidy stuff, you don't be tracking everywhere.
Right.
So maybe you mop up the blood. I don't know. There's probably a strategy guide out there for this. Today, other people need to use the incinerator.
Oh, god damn it.
In you go. Maybe. Nope. Well, now I got burning garbage.
Like, do we throw out all these like prosthetic legs and shit?
Prosthetics?
Or other boots?
Yeah.
All these boots and gloves?
I mean, you can, but that's like our janitorial gear.
Oh.
Right? This is...
We
I
missed a
imagine
bit.
the uprising was human janitors versus robots, because like here are sniffers and there's a brush. See, I don't understand these brushes, because they look like cleaning equipment, but you can't use them. Boop. I'll go get some more water.
Yes, please.
You can jump with a bucket, you can run with a bucket, but if it touches a wall, it all just turns into steam. Splashes all over your face. Bucket! Boop! Bam. Bam, bam, bam! Man, Dirtbot loves to be cheered on. You know, if we don't have like self-cleaning mops in 150 years, I don't want to live there. Like, this is 2184. How are we still using just buckets of water?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You'd think they'd have like
A clean ray or like a... It's gotta be something. It's the future. But we're still just like wearing rubber gloves? I mean, sure, the mop looks futuristic, but it just mops like a regular mop.
I can reach the ceiling.
Or at least give me a like a beeper or like a light that'll tell me when it's about to start splattering shit all over the wall. I just spent 20 minutes cleaning.
Yeah, we need a new bucket.
Put that one in the...
Yeah, I'm gonna
Incinerator.
try and hope I don't drop it.
Keep looking for key cards too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm looking for whatever.
Oh. The Big Banger stereo, except I turned off all the music. Because we're listening to lo-fi. Boop. Big money, no whammies.
Sounds like a limb.
Oh my, what the fuck? Just grip. That is so annoying. Yeah, I'm sure you wanted to grab that limb and, oh fuck. But what you actually meant to do was push the button to pull out another bucket so it'll knock the first bucket over, right? You're fucking bloody.
So I went in to try and put a med kit, get a med kit, and I get a letter. Your vent supply machine trial period has expired. Please consider upgrading for the lower price of however much Vaders. With the full version, you get unlimited access to our synthesizer database, 24/8 sub-light call line support with highly trained technicians ready to serve you.
The hell are you talking about?
Immediate cessation of spam vending protocols. Upgrade now. What are you waiting for?
Oh, yeah, we should do that. How?
iVend.
If we could upgrade our vending machines to not spit out viscera, that'd be great.
It doesn't say. Sci-fi support. Connect anytime, anywhere, anyhow. You can even link with other iVend devices with ease.
Call sci-fi support.
Consider upgrading for low price of $899.99 Vaders.
I think we get that fake money when we're done with the jobs and we get back to the office.
What am I supposed to do with this paper?
Burn it? Like everything else?
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn the hell out of it.
Oh, right. I need a med kit.
Oh, the amounts of acid we'll need too. Oh my god.
The amounts of everything we still need.
Yeah, this is like a 40-hour job. This is actual work.
Yeah.
I guess I can no longer make fun of Keith for playing pay to play. Because I got a job with this fucking company.
Keith, if you're watching.
How's the job you pay for? Is it like this?
Annoying. Oh my god, there's shit over here too. I need to clean my mop. Did you take the...
I moved it slightly.
Okay, I found it.
Woof. I think we should probably call it because this is about as good as it's going to get for now. Wow, the acid... It's still kind of crappy. Oh, so the longer you let the acid sit, the more it works.
Yeah, I wasn't sure why we were mopping it, but...
Well, because there's no instructions, and like with every other cleaning product, you spray it on and you wipe it off. But in 2184, no one knows shit about dick, apparently.
Yeah.
Plus, like, on what planet would you just throw a Secret of the Ooze container of acid at shit and be like, yeah, done?
And I don't
look at
think
that.
in the past games we've never used the acid, I don't think, for graffiti. And there's been graffiti in other games that we've played, so...
Has there been?
Yeah. I think most of these there are at least something. Because there's the option of the acid. I don't remember ever using it.
I don't know, man. I guess anything's possible.
But I'm ready to call it whatever you are.
Now let me finish this last piece. Ah, clean. At least this little room is more or less... Let me make sure I'm not going to touch... Nope. I guess it's fine. This is a job I'm proud of. Just going to get rid of everything that doesn't need to be here. This box can go to hell. Get in there. Perfect. Boink. Oh. Gather up all my notes that I threw everywhere.
Don't we have to clock out? Or no, that would just be to end the game, right?
Yeah. I'll save and everything once we shut down here. Boy, oh boy. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming and watching us work and listening to me talk about a movie to spend some time pretending not to work. Oh boy, we'll be back at it again. And I one day, maybe in the near future, maybe not, we'll just do this, like no video game possibly, because more and more people I see out here are just doing like watching the news or just talking to people. And
yeah, I mean, there's people playing guitar and talking to people in chat and stuff.
If we get enough people in chat to really build a meaty audience, then I won't have to tap dance so hard with these games. But yeah, that was fun. We will catch you on the next episode of FFOP Radio / Game Time / Everything Everywhere / Reviewniverse. So turn that baby down. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. See you then.
Bye.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.